So we're going to start with a brief history about the proposed development site. It is located at 194th Street and 16th Avenue. The three property addresses are listed up there on the screen. The special study area that surrounds these 77 acres comprises 600 acres. This is approximately 2/3 the size of Stanley Park. If you combine the special study area with Campbell Valley Park, which borders this special study area to the east, you come up with an area that's nearly 3 times the size of Campbell Valley Park. The nature of the surrounding lands is primarily agricultural and rural residential. Now, it's important to note that the proposed 77 acres for development is not in the Agricultural Land Reserve, or the ALR. It is currently zoned agriculture or general agriculture A1, but it is not in the ALR. It is surrounded on 3 sides by ALR lands. So if you'll see the yellow arrow on the right-hand side of the screen, that is the property known as the Llama Farm. That is the image that you just saw on the previous slide with the red barn, the pasture. The green arrow, which we will reference later, is a gravel extraction site, which is also part of the 77-acre development area. Now, the green area is the 77 acres. The dark gray outline is the 600-acre special study area. And you can see where we are here today at the Fish and Game Club on the left side of your screen. To the east, west, and south are ALR lands. To the north is the Campbell Heights development area, which has undergone the changes to commercial and light industrial over the previous years. Now, a few key points in the timeline that got us to where we are today in 2016. In 2007, the City of Surrey undertook a sustainable truck parking study process. This report was released as Corporate Report C005. To our knowledge, very little was done beyond 2009, including data points that were requested in the sustainable truck parking study were not gathered by the City of Surrey. In 2014, there was a City of Surrey Council resolution to not allow any development applications to be considered in the area the city references as South Campbell Heights until the completion of a local area plan. And we'll get to what a local area plan is in a few minutes. In July of last year, there was a delegation appearance made to the City of Surrey Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, which is chaired by Councillor Tom Gill. Here, GG Metro Holdings had 2 representatives present a plan for the truck parking application as it has become known. The result of that meeting was that the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee carried a motion to endorse a letter from Tom Gill to Minister Todd Stone from the province, quote, to confirm whether the Ministry of Transportation is not opposed to the proposal. On August 29th of last year, the application was referred back to GG Metro by staff, and they were told they would have to wait for the local area plan to be completed. Now, on September 14th, in a process that was highly unusual and not normal protocol, Councillor Gill made a motion at a city council meeting and gained unanimous approval from council to allow this application to proceed in advance of the completion of the local area plan. And that's why we're here today. So despite that motion and the unanimous approval, an application number, a City of Surrey councillor, in responding to my invitation to today's meeting just on Wednesday of last week, replied, quote, I understand there is no application on this property to date. And therein lies the challenge Friends of Hazelmere Campbell Valley is having in finding out what the true nature of this application is. Many of you have written emails to City of Surrey councillors and received similar verbiage in response of there being no application in front of them. That is not the case. This is a live file. In fact, November 19th, the Vancouver Sun quoted Parm Garsha of GG Metro Holdings, the applicant and developer, saying his company has applied to the City of Surrey. So briefly, before we talk about the salient points of the application process, a brief bit about the nature and ecological value of the special study area. The area surrounding these 77 acres is rural and agricultural. The Brookswood Aquifer lies underneath these 77 acres. Well water from this aquifer supplies thousands of local Surrey and Langley residents with drinking water. The Brookswood Aquifer, we have learned, is a shallow, unconstrained aquifer that is susceptible to contamination. As the video mentioned, we know there are 5 species of salmon, plus the steelhead and the Salish sucker that spawn in the Little Campbell River, which runs through the northwest quadrant of the development property. By allowing industrial development on this property, the City of Surrey could risk allowing 60 years of restoration work to become undone. There are 13 confirmed and potentially 22 suspected species at risk in the special study area. And in the city's own environmental report, they highlighted the stands of 100-plus-year-old trees that are a rarity in the Lower Mainland anymore. In fact, Arosha, whose property borders the development application site to the north, has confirmed they have trees dating from the 1730s on their property, making them nearly 300 years old. Besides Arosha, the Semiahmoo Fish and Game Club, the Semiahmoo First Nation are both downstream from the proposed truck stop. Plus, within a stone's throw are facilities that house at-risk populations. So briefly, so we can be all on the same page, a crash course in what a local area plan is, or land use planning. The City of Surrey has identified this area as not having had a formal LAP, and that's the 600 acres of which this 77 acres is smack dab in the middle of. Now, a local area plan legally validates existing or creates new zoning. City planners tell us that it establishes the goalposts on particular lands. Local area plans are developed over several years with input from experts, engineers, biologists, and the community. The cost runs in the high 6 to low 7 figures. It is the largest collaborative process that the city goes through to establish the character of the neighborhood. Now, from our perspective, the need for developing a local area plan does not imply the use needs to change on these 600 acres of land. Some of you, or most of you, may recall that the casino application was turned down in part because of the non-contiguous use of the lands. A casino was inconsistent with the surrounding agricultural and rural residential area. And yet somehow we have a developer here who has gained the favor of council and has jumped the queue with this industrial rezoning application and development application in advance of the local area planning process. Previous councils have never identified this area as being suited for industrialization. This was identified to happen in the Campbell Heights area to the north. And yet the council was appealed to by Councillor Gill, who said that it was essential, in fact urgent, that this truck parking application go ahead of the local area plan in order to address the need for truck parking for independent Surrey truckers residing in Surrey. And this, first of all, will involve an attempt to rezone the land as industrial from its current zoning of agricultural. So that's why we're here today. Friends of Hazelmere Campbell Valley is a group of about 10 core committed individuals. We have weekly meetings, and to date we have done many things to help bring us to where we are today in our understanding of the application. We have created sidewalk signs that you may see in the community. We have created the website, which most of you are probably familiar with. We have done mail-outs and print media ads. We have submitted numerous freedom of information requests to the province as well as to the city. We've had regular correspondence with City of Surrey Council members as well as the Township of Langley. We have met with the applicant, GG Metro Holdings. We've had meetings and correspondence with several provincial ministers and MLAs. There's also a formal letter which we will be circulating here momentarily. We don't have copies for everyone, apologies, that the FHCV sent to Mayor Linda Hepner outlining our position on this application. We have researched the history of the special study area and documented the previous activities that have taken place on the agricultural lands in the area. Finally, we have liaised with numerous other community organizations and interested parties in this application. We've spent a fair bit of money so far, and it's come out of our pockets to get us to this point. There is a donation box on the back desk. If you're so inclined to help support the furtherance of FHCV on this application, we would appreciate it. We are a registered society, so we can accept a check, if you're so inclined, made payable to Friends of Hazelmere Campbell Valley Society. And I know all of us would be most grateful for help from the community in keeping this application on top of mind for everyone in the neighborhood.